There be light, and there was light. I am Crimey Queen, and you are listening to the news from the desk of Mother Eve. Okay, Mother Eve is the said God from Genesis chapter 1 of the 14 gods. Okay, so of course, chapter 1 and chapter 2. Right. Okay, so from our past presentations, we have discovered that we are in the making of news, really. Once upon a time, I used to wonder how do they find news? How do they make news? And of course, I had a clear picture of this. We having a casual conversation. I think it was over Christmas or New Year's, where it was said how people would have these arguments, and of course it's like having witnesses playing judges, and really something that could start sort of like a joke, it would turn to a serious scenario, and where witnesses would need to be called in. And so we see that we have been role playing news, and another one of course would have to give the report of what they have seen or what they have heard, and it could go on till of course someone could be prosecuted, and that was really news, and of course we can see how that happens. So there we are again, on Crimey Queen, examining the characteristics of the 14 gods of Genesis chapter 1 and chapter 2. 9 gods in chapter 1. Of course, the 9 gods are called okay, because gods are like their title, or like you could say a nurse, so we know gods are gods here, and likewise we have lords as well. But we have called, created, blessed, divided, made, moved, ended, said, saw, formed, set, caused, breathed, and planted. I think planted is the last god, and of course, the last god of the 5 gods of Genesis chapter 2. Now, I am getting a picture that Mother Eve, of course, who had been very instrumental, as we can see, because it was Mother Eve who said, "Let there be light," and there was light. So very instrumental in Genesis of chapter 1. And we had, of course, the 8 entries of the lettings, which I call contracts to the other gods. So Mother Eve was the one who was the Lord of the gods right there. So who said, "Let the waters bring forth gushing creatures," and so on. Well, gushing creatures, abundant creatures, and so on, and the grass, and let there be lights, and to divide the lights for the firmament from the waters above, the waters beneath, and there were so many things. But Mother Eve was very instrumental in these lettings, which were 8 lettings. Now the 8th letter, the final letter, is the letter. This is the this is where we are at, where Mother Eve said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness." And we read on to her, or to observe the writing says that God created man in his own image and likeness. So we could see from there that perhaps there was someone who was not really going to or working in certain specifications of Mother Eve, or how Mother Eve had specified. And so talking about the word specified, really done his own species of man. And that is clear, I would believe, from seeing from what Mother Eve is saying. It's really where Adam was really creating. Adam was the God who created man in his own image and likeness, and created he and he them, and so on, and quite a lot of those things were transparent there. Now we have come to the cycle, this cycle, a 7,000-year cycle according to Mother Eve, and hence the seventh entry. The seventh entry is denoting the end of that 7,000-year cycle, where we move into the eighth cycle. This eighth cycle, of course, as I said before, is the 7-year cycle that began on the 15th of May 2018. Now, whether that consists or constitute a mini cycle of a larger cycle of the eighth cycle, but it is the eighth cycle, or perhaps better still to describe it as the seed of the eighth cycle. It's like the cell that contains everything that has everything that to become, and that's how I see the eighth cycle of this 7 year that we are moving into, which is where of course we have learned about Uranus is has entered the second zodiac sign, which is Taurus. So there we are, and we'll be lasting for the next 7 years or so. So this is the cycle that we are on when we read in Genesis, and I haven't got the outline with me, but it's I'm going to again really try and attach those presentations. So if you want to check in the description box to see what we're talking about with the lettings that Mother Eve had those lettings. So the eighth cycle is where I believe that Mother Eve is inviting us to be co-creators in this eighth cycle. So, but to know about this eighth cycle is to understand the gods and to understand what contribution of the gods that we are coming with, because the gods obviously operate in us, through us, around us, with us, and so on. That's how I say about the north, south, east, and west as well. And of course it's more than that, but it's each part of our makeup. So there so the gods operate through us, and it's important that we understand their language, their characteristics, their function, and positions, and to know what we are coming with. So one of the things that have been concerning me is that understanding the gods, I think, is crucial to understanding ourselves. When we do understand ourselves, it's really that we are then more inclined to be motivated or dedicated to becoming instrumental in this creation. So I am loving this word believing now, because this is where Mother Eve has given us that leeway, if you like, in the word believe, because that is the message Christ had also come to really teach us about the word believe. Because in the word believe, as I say, is a big fat lie, and that is the lie where we have this the liberty of what some might even term as free will. It is in that free will state that we become very instrumental, or we can become very creative of what exactly we want to be contributing to mankind, in the sense of the creation, the new creation, making man in God's image after, Mother Eve's words is, let us make man in our image, after our likeness. So Mother Eve is very inclusive there when she uses the word our image. This is very, very important. She is actually including us in this. She's saying, I want you to be part of this. So, and it is so, it really touches me to feel as well that the word our is 369 or 639, which is which has a wonderful pattern that coincides with the template of the said God. Well, it's the template was really of the sacrifice of Christ, which is how we devise the template. So, but let's look at the word our first when Mother Eve says in our image. So our image is really what Mother Eve wants us to concentrate on, which is 639. Of course, we have a pattern on the template, which is 369. But this is where Mother Eve is inviting us here. So 369. Now I'm believing this is an image that is coming to me right now. It's Mother Eve is like giving us a key or a hint that instead of it had been perhaps just whether there was a word, for instance, U-O-R, for instance, there is not such a word, I don't think so. But Mother Eve, which would have been 369, this would have been the 369. But Mother Eve has really showed us, well, perhaps there is a pattern in this word that we are meant to follow. This is the image I am getting now. It's like goal setting, for instance, that we have we have steps that we follow one after the other, and I'm believing that the word hour is really giving a clear indication of the steps that we need to follow or pay attention to. So this would be, this O, for instance, would come under the fox column. So O would be under the fox column, of course, and U would be under the free column, and we would have our hair. So what I can see here, there is an even distribution of letters on either side of the O. So U is here, 3, and then we have 6 because there are 2 letters between U and O, and there are also 2 letters between O and R right here. So this is really saying there is a balance that Mother Eve is offering, a sort of balance in this sense. Wherever that key, I am going along with it. I don't know where this is going to take us, but I believe that this is offering something, and I think now we should invite Mother Eve and Waters and Transparency to give us clear indication and clear transmission of this message, if it is something really that we should be paying attention to. So in this presentation, we ask that our intuition, our intuitive awareness is really acute, that we can pick up the vibrations of the essence of what Mother Eve is conveying to us. And I'm hoping, and I am preparing, not hoping, and I am prepared to be attentive to the message. Okay, so it's just that I got that image, and I thought it's best I just put it out there. I don't know if it's going to transpire today or whenever it does, it does. If it doesn't, well, but I feel I need to acknowledge that. Okay, so when Mother Eve says in our image, so we see that it's on 369, and we have that as luck, fox, and inland revenue. Okay, this may be all strange to you if you are joining us for the first time, but this is the template that we have been using on Crimea Queen's channel, a depiction of Mother Eve who is illuminated and is ready to teach us how to not just open our third eye, but now how to transform or transit or our transition in the fifth and eighth dimension to really help us become whatever it is that we are meant to be, do, or have in those dimensions. So this template was devised on the sacrifice template, the sacrifice the teaching that we had of Jesus Christ, or the Last Supper. So we say the sacrifice, but the Last Supper. Okay, and there, this is where we have the numbers 1 to 9 as in numerology and the letters of the alphabet. But we also use water. I like to call water into transparency, because water is reflective, and the waters is Mother Eve. And this is all this is about Mother Eve, in the sense that we are reflections of Mother Eve. Female 100% water, and male 90% water, according to Mother Eve. Now, I have not heard this anywhere else, and I am boldly saying this because this is an intuitive message Mother Eve has revealed. Now, of course, this is also in the to something that we have, although it may not necessarily be seen as water, but that we female also have 10 openings to the body. Men have 9 openings to the body. That has a correlation of the 100% for women and 10 and 90% for men. So there's the this, well, what one could say as a discrepancy, but I am believing the 10% that variance between male and female is something very crucial for us to pay attention to and see what message it is conveying. Perhaps it's the bridge that that is between the two, in a sense, to becoming one or whole. Let's just see how that happens. Okay, so the fifth and eighth dimension is really, again, the mouth is it equals 5. Mouth equals 5. Everything it's like about the mouth, we could say. The God of the said God is about the mouth, because we see that we do so many different things with the mouth, which I'm going to cover in a little while. So back to seeing how the owl, in fact, just to make a note about the mouth. So the mouth of Mother Eve. So we see that owl is here. If we, of course, that add this together, it sums up to number 9, and so that would show the totalism of Mother Eve right there, saying, let us make man in our image. So Mother Eve has included everything here. So even if Father Adam, for instance, made man in his own OWN, own image and likeness. So own image. So the word own now is 655. Of course, this is 16. 1 plus 6 is 7. And image is 94175. Adding this together, this is 10, 17, 22, 26. So this is 8. Of course, own image, if we add this together, this would be 15. Of 1 plus 5 is 6. So there we can see which how 6 has showed up on the middle of the template. So Mother Eve is still on the middle of the template right here, because we have a pattern of 3, 6, 9 here. 3, 6, 9, 3, 6, 9, 3, 6, 9. So there is that 6 right there. It comes under the W, the men, the news, we could see how news is still right there. And that is also the number of man. So that also includes the number of man. It includes the overall of the gods. It still includes the overall sum, or the sum total vibration of the gods. So, and that was when we added all the gods together, because there's two ways we did this. We added all the gods. I did this on the last presentations, which would be headed okay, the position of the gods. I'm believing it's the position of the gods. I'm not quite sure, but I would like to pick up on this to really show that when we added all this together, we added all the gods. For instance, there was one time we had the sum total of 5 when we added all the gods, and when we added the value vibrations of all the gods, for instance, we will know which is which. So we added 5, we added 1, 2, 3, so this would be 6, and we added 1, this is 6, yes, 6, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if we add this 6, 7, 8, 9, this is 6, 7, 8 is 21, and 9 is 30. So 30, this would be 35, and so that is 8. Now 8 plus, okay, so that's 8 plus 6, 7, right, plus 5 and 6, 11. So we have 39. This is 3. I am not sure that I am adding this correct. There's 3. We have a total of 3. I'm not sure I have added this correctly. But when we added the, I think I'm going to go over this again. So the called God is values 1. So these are the numbers we have here, the values on the side here. So this is 1, 2, this is 3, this is 6, and this is 5. So that's 11. Right, 11, and 6 is 17. So let's have 17 here. Then we have 7 and 8 and 9. That would be 24. 24. Okay, this is what we have here. So 7 plus 4 is 11, and 1 plus 2, 3 plus 4. So this is 41. This is correct. So now we have the overall value or vibration of the gods in their numerical vibration. So basically, when I say this, I did use the numbers, for instance, like for called, 1 would be his life, the God's life path number. Perhaps it's more appropriate to say the expression number, like their purpose. So I'm going to use the expression number. So the called God has an expression number of 1, the created God 2, the blessed God and divided God 3, the moved God, the made God and the ended God is 5, the said God is 6, the saw God and the formed God is 7, the set God and the caused God is 8, and the breathed God and the planted God is 9. Now when we add this together, we have the sum number of 5. So we can see how 5, of course, in all, I'm just looking at the time, 5 has really showed right here in the middle here. And we have looked at how the God, so the God Adam, who created man in his own image and likeness, of course gave us a sum total of 6. But to really show how Mother Eve too has been very instrumental from the onset, when I say really encapsulating the completeness of everything, Mother Eve said, our image after our likeness. So the our here, of course, we see has the number 9. So basically, it's like the God who created in his own image and likeness had taken 9 and turned it around. It's like he mirrored Mother Eve in that sense. We could say that there was a mirror aspect. It's like it's always a reaction, always a reaction. So Mother Eve had proposed our image, which is 9, but Adam, of course, image, if we count 9, add 9, because it's Mother Eve said our image. So image would be, image is 8. If we add 8 plus 9 is 17. So 1 plus 7 is 8, right there. Now, we can see how Mother Eve actually became 8 as 8. This is where Mother Eve ate of the fruit of good and evil. The fruit of good and evil is actually 8 in this sense. I'm not doing the numerical value for fruit or the tree of evil and so on, but we are looking at the word 8 when Mother Eve ate, according to the story we had, and she ate of the fruit. So the word ate actually equals 8, or eat equals 8. And that's why we have the number 8. That's why we have in the mouth is the number 8. So of course our teaching is the mouth is a lesser, or number 5 is a lesser value than number 8. Perhaps that is where we have been confused in this sense, and not really paying attention to understanding the function of the vibrations of the numbers, or the numbers as symbols, and they have certain vibrations that we have not been taught how to tap into. So of course 8 is infinite. In this sense, we see that the symbol here is unbreakable. It's like it's that circle, it's a complete circle. But the mouth too has a function of a circle, that it encapsulates the circle as well. But it has this 2 ends to it, we could say. It's like another, when the circle breaks, it can take up any shape, and that the 5 in itself perhaps has been a symbol to show us how the 8 in itself can take the shape of 5, because with the 5 being broken, or the 8, sorry, being broken, then it can be so elasticated, or if we like, or it can also facilitate different shapes. This is what I want to say. So we see that the 5 has a square or points to it at the top, and it has a curve to the bottom. So basically it is saying that it can take on the angles and the curves. So that's another way of looking at it. But we can see from this small or short illustration how Father Adam, who made man in his own image and likeness, so own image is like a template. Let's just see it like this. Own image would be the template that man was made in, and whereas our image would be 8. So we see that is 8, and there is 6 on one side. So if we added this together, let's just put it this way, this would come to 14 now. So if we added 8, which is Mother Eve setting, saying after our likeness, image after our likeness, and we added 6, this would give us 14. 14, of course, is Mother Eve, EVE. Right here, this is 5, 4, 5. Adding this together is 1, 4. Of course, which is the reverse of the total, the sum total of the vibrations of the God that I have just added. When we added all the gods together, we see that it equals 41, but Mother Eve is 14. So everything that is happening is like we are seeing the mirror aspect to this. Now, it is in that mirror aspect that I am really wanting to discover the pattern or the method that Mother Eve is proposing that we follow to create man in our image after our likeness. Do join me again on when we further explore the position of the gods or the function of the gods that's going to take us into making man in our image and our likeness, or after our likeness. I'm believing that's where Mother Eve wants us to go back to, instead of the own image and likeness, which man have now taken on board as the new world order. So do join me again. This is news from the desk of the said God, Mother Eve. Yeah. Thank you for watching. If you like this presentation, give us a thumbs up, do share, like and subscribe, and of course spill over with love. And I love to remind people, remember, we are planting new seeds. So this is a new thing in a new way, but it is for new seeds that we are planting. And who knows, for the new Garden of Eden. Yes.